Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Dosha with DoshaDreamsTarot, and this is a reading for the sign of Taurus. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs, or wherever you have Taurus in your chart. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember that this is a general reading, so may or may not resonate with you. Just take what does and leave the rest for somebody else. Cross-watchers, you're welcome here, but please keep in mind that roles can be reversed, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, time is fluid, energy is fluid, and gender is fluid, so don't get hung up on any of that. I will still try and read the energy to the best of my ability, but it is what it is, and can be 6 of Wands. Ooh. Anyway, could be interchangeable, so let's see what we got. Please do like, share, comment, or subscribe before you leave. It really means a lot, and it does a lot to help the channel grow. It is a new channel, but I have been reading tarot for a long time. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We're deeply grateful, and we know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide Taurus for their highest good, Spirit? Please bless us and protect us as we move forward in this reading. Okie dokes. Okay, what's going on? We'll pull more cards, but you've got the 9 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and Spirit's saying just go ahead and talk about it. Okay, fine. Sorry. Okay, so you got the Tower. This is Scorpio energy. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, but this is really just about some shakeup here. I really just want to say that you never know where the reading's going to go. So just like, you know what I mean? Don't get upset or worried. Okay. But here's what I'm getting from these 3 cards coming out together. You've got the 8 of Pentacles coming out in the reverse. So this could really talk about a couple of things. And it could just be this is a change of work status or situation. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be, you know what I mean, out of a job. But with the 7 of Cups coming out in reverse, what I'm getting is that there may not be a lot of options for you at this time. But, you know, don't stress because, like, things change really quickly and, you know, energy changes, and it's also a full moon happening. And so you can always set your intentions and kind of try and cultivate a little bit more for yourself. And so part of the reason why, this is the other thing that's coming out for me, is that the 8 of Pentacles in reverse can talk about you maybe not putting in enough effort here. And you are Taurus, so you're an earth sign. Like, I feel like this is kind of your, how do I say this? Yeah, this is kind of your forte, I feel like, is being really in touch with, like, your material wealth, and your physical well-being. And I feel like maybe, either something has happened that has caused some sort of, something has got you, like, what's the word? Look, you may have also, I'm getting, like, a lot of it at once, so I apologize. I'm trying to kind of, like, navigate how much is coming out right now. First thing, we're going to break it down. First thing that's coming out is that somebody specific, okay, could have actually caused you some problems, either at work or at home, I'm getting more specifically, and tried to kind of like weave a web here, because if you look at the 8 of Pentacles, I'm just seeing the imagery, and it doesn't always stand out, so I take those as messages. But you see the spider web up there in the tree? I'm getting that someone tried to weave some type of web, and like, you see how the tree is twisted at the top? It's almost like either somebody tried to weave some kind of twisted web because they're fucked up, excuse my language, or it got you twisted up. Does that make sense? Like, something might have happened that has now impacted your ability to work, okay? Or maybe somebody, this sucks, because this could go a couple different ways. So this is, you will know where you are in this, okay? But so the one thing that I'm getting is that either you had somebody actually do some damage to your situation, and it had to do with your money or your work, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they got you fired, or they tried to, like, blacklist your business, or, you know what I mean, like, come up with lies and, like, doxed you for some shit that, you know, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like somebody could have tried to use their power, so to speak, to kind of rock your world a little bit, and I feel like it's impacted your money. So that's possible, and you might not have many options here. Like that was kind of like your bread and butter or something is what I'm getting. But here's the other storyline. So we'll pull more cards and figure out where you fit. But the other storyline I'm getting is that this change is actually occurring because you were not putting in enough effort. So you'll know who you are. Don't go blaming other people for your own shit, okay? Even though I'm giving you two different stories. So just, you do your part, meet me in the middle. Let's work it out, okay? You know, and that can happen to the best of us here too. There might be reasons why that is, like maybe your mental health is suffering, you know, or you have a lot of other responsibilities, and so you've had to like put certain projects on the back burner, or you know what I mean, you've been more focused in like taking care of other people, you know, voluntarily, like your family or your friends or your children, right? I mean, obviously that's not voluntary, but I just mean you're not getting paid for it, right? So you're having to put more time into other responsibilities than you have been into your work, and so your money is suffering because of that. Just give me one moment. So I'm getting like a lot of storylines here, so bear with me. Let's try and pull some more cards and get a little bit more here, Spirit. Thank you so much. Can we please provide some more guidance or information to Taurus? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Justice card in reverse at the bottom of the deck. That really helps guide things a little bit here, because that's really telling me that this is not necessarily your fault. I'm feeling that there was some type of injustice done to you here. You've got the Hermit card coming out in reverse, and the first thing that I'm thinking is that with the Four of Pentacles coming out next, I'm almost thinking that, like, and don't take this the wrong way, Taurus, the whole reason why I do tarot and what I think tarot is most useful for is not necessarily to tell us the things that we already know. Sometimes it is just to give us confirmation, but then we should dig a little deeper to get some insight and maybe help with things that we might not know, like things that may be coming our way or potential outcomes and all that sort of thing. So that's the kind of tarot that I like to do. But the other kind that happens a lot, and it's not, I never go into these things with intention other than to be guided by spirit to help guide y'all. So it varies so much. I promise that I'm not just negative, okay, is what I'm saying here. But I'm not all, you know what I mean, like just gonna gloss over what's coming out. So I just like to set a precedent because it is a new channel and I have a lot of new viewers coming in. So some of y'all don't know me, okay? So what I have to say about these next two cards is that, you know, a lot of times Spirit will give me insight to share with you with things that you may need to do or need to work on, okay? So what I'm getting is with the Hermit in reverse and the Four of Pentacles, it may be that you have not taken the time to really go within and find out, you know, kind of do some self-reflection first off, okay? Because this is like, you may have upset somebody, okay? This is for some of you. You'll know the difference. First off, you're not responsible for other people's feelings unless you are intentionally trying to upset them. Then you're definitely responsible. You intentionally did it, and it takes a very emotionally resilient person to not be offended when someone is intentionally trying to offend them. You know what I'm saying? So if you did go out of your way to cause somebody anger or frustration or pain or whatever it was, you know, you may not have been messing with their livelihood like it looks like they did to you, but you may have done something that was, you know, in their mind unacceptable, and so there needed to be consequences, okay, is what I'm getting, which I'm not justifying revenge. I'm not justifying doxing and blacklisting people's businesses necessarily. It depends, okay, but I mean, I personally wouldn't do it because I don't want that karma. I'm just like, nope, God will figure it out, okay? Spirit has got that covered. If somebody is going to be an awful person, they're going to get what they deserve, and I don't have to do a damn thing, okay? That's just my personal preference of how I like to live my life. Other people might not be that way. And plus, we might have different varying opinions on what is, you know what I mean, what is not okay and what's worthy of, you know, action being taken, okay? So to you, it may not have been a big deal, but to them, it was a big enough deal for them to you know what I mean, like come back around and retaliate on you. But here's what I'm getting. I keep getting this little pain in the side of my head, which is just when I tune into energy like that, like conflict, and not just conflict, but like, it's just like, it's not a good place. It's not coming from a good place when people do that. It's coming from a hateful place. So what I'm getting is that you maybe haven't done the self-reflection to figure out why someone would do that to you. You know, you kind of maybe have taken a little bit of a, you know, and you may very well be a victim here. Like, I'm even getting someone might have, like, you know what I mean, set fire to your business or like something crazy like that. If that's for you, I'm fucking sorry, because I know how expensive it can be to recover from a fire and recover from your business being shut down, especially if, like I said, it's your livelihood. You don't have many other options here. It's your bread and butter. It's kind of a big deal. So, you know, basically, I'm sorry to hear that if that was for you, if that resonates. But what I'm saying is that it is important that we acknowledge, or at least consider, okay, you maybe didn't do anything, but if somebody turned around and did something like that to you, it's like they're either a really messed up person, which is probably likely, but also there might be cause and effect here. So what Spirit is asking me to say to you, and when I ask Spirit which sign I should read, immediately Taurus. So this is a message for somebody. I know it is, and I feel like it's important for me to be really authentic with what's coming through here. Okay, so just bear with me. We're gonna keep moving forward. There's other energies on the table, but with this Hermit card in reverse, it's really important, I feel like, for us to do some self-reflection and also to heal from it, like, so that we can actually basically find our own inner light in order to move through this situation with grace, okay, and with dignity and with wisdom. So we may be feeling really upset right now, you know, or we may be feeling very resentful or even scared. Like, there's a lot of different emotions that can come up when somebody intentionally tries to harm your livelihood, right? So I think that in this situation, what Spirit is asking for you to do, what God is asking for you to do here, is to walk this path, walk this spiritual path, go within. And I know this sounds a lot like being the bigger person, doesn't it? Because I feel like that's what Spirit is asking you to do. I don't think that you're the type to retaliate and seek revenge, but I do think that you're holding on to some resentment, and that seems fair depending on, you know what I mean, when this happened. You know, but I feel like this is a current situation that you're still dealing with the consequences of this situation. So what I'm getting is that the Hermit card is really asking you to go within and really do some self-reflection and really do some just reflection on the situation. Is like, well, how did this come to be, and why is it that this was the route that somebody took? You know what I mean? Chances are, and I know that I'm not sympathizing with somebody necessarily who did something like that, but what I'm saying is that they may have done that because they felt powerless, and it was the only way for them to hold you accountable, potentially. I don't know what went down here. You may have done nothing wrong and this person was just resentful and jealous of you, okay? That could be the case too. But I wouldn't jump to conclusions on their motivations, especially if there was like conflict between the two of you before this happened. Is that I would look at it objectively, look at them objectively, and try to step away from the hatred, because you might be really resentful and upset with this person, which, like I said, you're justified in that. I'm not trying to devalidate that, but I am encouraging you, and Spirit, more importantly, is encouraging you to reflect on the situation and reflect on, you know, the circumstances and also the bigger picture here, that this may have more to do with the fact that people may feel powerless in their own lives, not your problem, but they may feel powerless in their own lives, where that if somebody was to hurt them and offend them, it could literally just be what sends them over the edge, because they maybe have been, you know what I mean, treated like shit all their lives, you know, and they get to a point where they're like, I'm sick and tired of being treated like shit, and this person needs to be held accountable, or they deserve, something needs to happen. Like, I can't just keep allowing this sort of thing. I'm not saying you treated them like shit. That might just be the way they perceived it. I don't know. But it also could be that maybe they are standing up for somebody else, okay? And they feel that it's their responsibility, and that's the only way they can enforce that power. You know, in some situations where that people will like call the cops because that's literally the only possible way that they can have, you know what I mean, like that there's going to be consequences for this person's actions, or a lot of people will use the cops in a really gross, vindictive way where they'll be like, they're going to call the cops about some shit that easily could be handled without the cops, but they want to assert power, they want to assert dominance, whatever it is, because they feel powerless in their own lives. They may realize that they don't have any other type of authority or power over you, but they really want that power and authority. So they use the cops as a tool for their own insecurities and their own, you know, control issues, basically, right? So I'm just giving you examples of basically like when people do this sort of thing, when they use whatever means necessary in order to like cause you some type of consequence. And if like I said, you will know where you fit. If this was not necessarily a situation where that you know, but I don't know if you've done the reflection to know or not if you actually did something not to deserve it, because you don't deserve it, okay? I don't feel that you deserve it. I feel like this is really a really heartbreaking situation for you. And so I just want you to know that like I am being supportive of you, because I feel like, you know, you might have kids, you might have people who are depending on you, you know, you may have mortgage payments. You know, COVID has been so difficult for so many people, and to have that on top of everything, especially if you run, like, I'm really getting that you run a restaurant, you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm getting that, but I feel like you run a public business where that you serve the public somehow. Could be a gas station I'm getting also, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that, you know, COVID, I feel like already impacted your business, and that could be part of this tower, but I feel like on top of that, it was like a lot of other things. So I feel like it was already difficult enough, and then somebody had to go and fuck with your stuff, and it made it even worse. And so now you're just in this state of like, what do I do next? Okay, so that's where we're gonna go to now. But that's just, I feel like Spirit really wanted me to say all those things, not to frustrate you or upset you or make you think that, like, you know, this, but it's just about understanding. You don't have to agree to understand, okay? And that's part of what I do as a tarot reader, is I don't necessarily agree with when things like this happen, but part of having empathy, okay, and empathy is something that you can practice and learn, and it gets stronger over time. So it may be really difficult at first to have empathy for someone who has harmed you or intentionally tried to harm you, or succeeded in harming you or your livelihood or your business or whatever it is. That it's really difficult at first to have empathy for those sorts of people, and especially when it's personal. But the Hermit is really talking about, seriously, is that you are being guided and encouraged to do exactly that, to go within and try and understand, because it is going to help you in the long run. This is really about you, Taurus. This is not about the other person. It is about what they did, but it's more so the bigger picture of the trends, okay, of what is going on with us as a collective, and what the things that we do to each other. And you know what I mean? Like I said, you maybe didn't think that you were in the wrong, but it's possible that you could have contributed to this outcome, okay? So like I said, you don't have to agree to understand, okay? So you may not agree with them, but you can at least understand it. And I think understanding it is the first step in preventing a reoccurrence, okay? Because you know what I mean? And it's a big deal. Like, and here's the thing too, is like, if you own a public business and say you know, have, and I really, really try not to get into politics here, and I'm not going to, but I'm just going to say that this is the vibe and the storyline that I'm getting here, okay? And this is why I talk about doxing and blacklisting, is because that's what I'm feeling happened to you. And if that happened to you, it is usually because you either said something that was either taken out of context or was not taken out of context at all. It's just that other people really strongly disagreed with you and thought it was problematic, okay? So like I said, you might not agree with their perspective, but you can at least understand the way that it is. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree with their tactics or what it is that occurred to understand that it's still an unfortunate consequence, okay, of differing opinions, and when people try and exert power in whatever way that they can. It's a whole thing, you know, and I feel like as a society, this is something we're facing in the age of the internet that we've never had to deal with before. So it's like we're all navigating it together to be like, well, how do we deal with this? So what I would encourage you to do, and this is really like, sometimes people apologize for things because they know it's the right thing to do. And like I said, you don't have to agree in order to understand. So you don't have to, like, I'm not saying apologize and not actually be sorry, okay? What I'm saying is that you can apologize for how something impacted other people or the community, or how it came off, or, you know what I'm saying? You can still have your same opinions, like, you know what I mean? It's not, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is why I don't talk about politics, because it's very, like, and when I say this is social politics too. Like, this isn't just about American government politics, okay? This is about, you know what I mean? Like, what are our stances, and how do we feel, and what do we think, and what do we say, and how does that impact the people around us, and what are the consequences of that? You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, it's not like, because I know the types of people, and whoever this message is for, you're the type of person where that you don't want to be told what you can say and not say, okay? But regardless of how you feel about it, okay, I'm sorry to say it, but we are in an ever-changing culture, right? So the culture is changing whether we like it or not. And I'm sorry to say that, but there's a certain point in time where you have to try and reflect and go within and say, like, why does it upset me and frustrate me so much? Is it really about what is being said, or is it more about the possibility of where that can go? Is it more about the fear that, you know, I will be suppressed in other ways? Is it the fear that, you know, this is just where it starts, but it's going to get worse, right? So if that's really what's going on within, I like Spirit's encouraging you to really reflect on that, and why does it, you know, make you so angry, right? And all that sort of thing. It's important work to do, because honestly, like, I think it's scary for a lot of people who are, you know, in the midst of these changes, and they're, you know, being told that they're wrong, and that they're problematic, and that what they're doing is worthy of being canceled and blacklisted and doxxed and stuff. And they're just like, this is America. Like, I have the right to my opinion, right? Well, yes, you do have the right to your opinion, but you have to realize other people have the right to their opinion as well. And depending on the subject matter, sometimes it's really just wiser, okay? It's much more wise to just listen and observe before you react. And reacting from a place of fear or anger is never going to be helpful. And that goes for everybody, okay? So if somebody is reacting from a place of anger and destroying your livelihood, your ability to make money and survive in a very difficult time, you know, that's pretty cruel of them also. So you know, I feel like you understand that part easily, but it may be that you need to look a little bit deeper here to really look at what this really implicates for you, and you know, and for the world, really, for society. Is like, how are we going to learn to adjust, okay, and to coexist? So this is what the energy that is, you know, coming for you moving forward. So, you know, it's really, like I said, if you are able to just like relax and think about it and go within and try and refrain from going to those angry places and those resentful places and those fearful places, okay? You know, like I said, you You don't have to agree necessarily to understand. And the more that you understand, the more you may find that there are more opportunities to agree when you understand, you know? You may not agree on everything ever, you know, and that's okay. But as long as you understand other people, then you're not going to be angry that they think differently than you. You're not going to be afraid of what their thinking can do to you. And you're not going to be, you know, resentful of them for their differences, you know? And so then it'll be less hostile, basically, you know? So when you decrease the conflict and you decrease the hostility, it really makes it a lot easier to have conversations, or even just to steer clear of each other and just let each other live their lives. You know what I mean? And just be like, okay, you're changing the culture, I'm changing the culture, we're all a part of the culture, so I don't have to be afraid that you're going to make the world a worse place to live in. You're gonna ruin everything that I hold dear. It's like, that's very, I mean, like, I understand how real that feels, but you have to understand all of the other implications of change and all of the other implications of, you know, us, like, holding each other accountable. And there are healthier ways to hold each other accountable, but it's, like I said, it's very difficult, you know, for people to do that when it comes to social politics, because it's not, you're not breaking a law, you know what I mean? You may just be offending people, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, how do we, you know, but that's the deal, is we can't change people by force. It really, we can't change each other by force. It's really not okay. And that goes in all directions. Like, the only way that we can, you know, really communicate with each other about these issues is by just recognizing the value in everybody and the areas where we can grow and change and do better, you know? And so it's not easy. And, you know, like, I just feel like there were people who, this message is definitely for somebody, like, it's very specific. And I hope that you've really, you know what I mean, heard this message and that it resonated with you, because it's, you know, and this, I feel like, could be valuable for people who aren't in this situation, but I don't really think you would have gotten this far in the videos. So anyway, let's go ahead and move forward. So you have the Four of Pentacles coming out right underneath the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So what I'm getting is that you're having, money's tight. Like, you're having to be, you know what I mean, really wise with your money. You're having to, you know what I mean, kind of, I don't want to say rob Peter to pay Paul, but you know what I mean? You're working with the circumstances. You're doing the best you can. You know that you don't have a lot of options, but you're trying to stay afloat. Next, you have the Princess of Cups coming out, which is the Page of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck. And the Page of Cups really talks about starting something new. You know, so this really, you know, believe it or not, Taurus, and I know that this might be annoying to hear, but believe it or not, this really could be, and this is Spirit, you know, trying to just share this, is that you really have an opportunity here. And I know that that's really hard to hear. But you have a lot of knowledge, okay? You have a lot of knowledge. In the Princess of Cups, you can see their bag. They have all these scrolls in their bag. And it's like you really aren't just going into the world blind. It may feel like you're starting over, and you are starting something new, but you're not starting from scratch. Like, you have a lot of you really do have a lot of knowledge to bring to the table. Like, you're, you know, I feel like you're an intelligent person. You know how to run a business. You know how to make things work and make things happen, you know, and before this happened, you know, I feel like you were successful and that it was something you enjoyed doing, and it, you know what I mean? But I feel like right now you're having to, like, lay low and make ends meet and do, like, I feel like you might be doing, like, landscaping or, like, some type of gardening gigs and, like, helping people with their land and stuff, I'm getting, which is that time of year, so you know what I mean, those types of jobs are picking up. So what I'm getting is that this might be giving you an idea. You might be getting inspired. You might be looking at your bank account. You might be talking to your bankers about loans. You know, you if you owned a business, you probably have decent credit, you know, you probably have good credit history, yada yada. So what I'm getting is that, you know, you are not broken by this. Like, this did not stop you completely, but Spirit is saying you need to reflect on this experience because it was meant to happen, and it was meant to happen for your greater good, okay? Believe it or not, for your growth and for the insights that can come from these types of experiences. And especially you know, financially, you're realizing like, I need to have a more foolproof kind of financial situation where that people can't just come in and fuck it up for me. You know what I mean? Because they don't like the way that I think, or they don't like, you know what I mean? Like that is a shitty feeling, you know. Spirit's telling me to look at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. 6 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel like that this was, you know, it's making you feel 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's making you feel, oh my God, the Sun in reverse. Yeah, okay. Taurus, you really took a beating here, okay? You're not feeling successful, you're not feeling happy, you're not feeling self-sufficient, but there is hope, okay? And that's, I think, the beautiful thing about this is that there's hope for you to learn from this and to start something new, to start new in general. This may be like a life reset, okay? Like this may actually be an opportunity for you to refresh yourself from the inside out, to be like do some self-reflection, be like, where could I have done things differently? What did I do that was potentially problematic or wrong or downright offensive or dangerous? Like this can go all over the map. Like what, you know what I mean? Take a look at yourself, okay? And just see if there was, you know what I mean, anywhere that you can improve, okay, on the inside. And I feel like you've been really humbled by this experience, okay? And maybe not humbled like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think you were like immediately, like I feel like you still need to do some of this work, you know? So you're not just immediately like, you know, oh, I was wrong, you know, thanks for teaching me a lesson. Like, no, I don't think that's how you feel at all. I think you've been very pissed and been like, excuse me, you know what I mean? But I think you're coming to a point now where like you've had to, and you're, like I said, you're still in this process, but you know, you've had to cut back. You've had to, you know, things have been tight. Like it's given you perspective, because maybe things were going well for a while, you know, and maybe you forgot what it was like to struggle, you know. So maybe that's giving you insight even into the people or the person who maybe did what they did to your business, is that maybe you realize that, like, you know what I mean, like maybe this person was hurting and struggling, and it upset them to, you know what I mean, to like see you doing well, which is also part of the reason why I was like, it could have been someone who was jealous and they did something messed up and you didn't really do anything wrong. You will know where you fit. But I feel like I've gone so deep into this other storyline that like that may not even apply anymore, but in a way it is still resentment, because if someone's struggling and you're not struggling, but they think like, oh, what the hell, I'm a good person, right? We all think that about ourselves, by the way. It's a cognitive bias. Like we can't help it. Like we think we're good people no matter what we believe or think, and you know what I mean, and then other people are bad people if they think differently than us, and like you need to recognize that in yourself too, bud, you know. So but I'm here to support you in it, okay, you know. So thank God for me, okay. You better be grateful here. Because it's a very rare thing, okay? I just hope you realize that I am a rare breed. But with this Page of Cups, I really do feel like there's hope, and I feel like you are finding hope in yourself. You're finding hope in God, in the universe, you know. I really feel like what do you want me to do next, Spirit? Okay, Spirit's asking me to just pull another card before we go. There it is. Okay. Yeah, this is really, oh my God. Okay, Tower at the bottom of the deck. So look, my friend, there's a reason why this reading is happening. Yeah, you've got the Star in the Ten of Cups in reverse here. The reason why, yeah. Look, you've got the Three of Cups in reverse. There's really not a whole lot to celebrate right now, okay? I'm not going to lie to you, Taurus. You already know that. For whoever this is for, you already know that. There's not a whole lot to celebrate now. You've got the Two of Wands in reverse. I feel like you're not really feeling very optimistic about your future prospects, but there is still opportunity. There's literally like a shred. Here's my advice to you, okay? Everything that I just shared with you and the things that were really hard for me to say, okay? I'm just, you know, I'm not saying like be grateful, but in a way I am, because I'm sharing things with you that are difficult for me to say, but it's what Spirit wants me to do, and also which are risky even for me to be even like kind. And you have to understand, I'm in a really sticky predicament here talking about this with you right now. But here's the deal, is like this scenario, this situation is, like I said, I'm saying things that are really difficult and even, you know what I mean, risky for me to even talk about. on my channel, because it's like, I'm a new channel. I'm trying to, you know what I mean, share messages with people. And so it's important for me to remain unbiased. It's also important for me to be supportive of whoever comes across my table that I'm supposed to be talking to. Okay. So like I said, it's difficult for me. Because like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you already know why I'm saying that. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further into that, but the things that you should focus on here is this Hermit card in reverse. Do this self-reflection, pray, go within, and this Page of Cups is be humble and hopeful, okay? And be optimistic about your future. And if you can't be optimistic, at least have hope, okay? You know, and I feel like as you do that and you do this work, you're going to come to a place where you have actual understanding of why this situation occurred, how you can change things in the future to be more stable for yourself, not like building a fortress so you can keep out the bad people who want to ruin you. It's like, no, dude, like, I think there will be a point where that you actually can be vulnerable and humble enough to say, like, where you feel like you could have done things differently, where you can improve, you know, and also, you know, that you understand why people did what they did, or that person did what they did, even if you don't agree with it or you think it was wrong and it's caused you a lot of heartache, but you forgive them, you know what I mean? And that you get it, and you're gonna, you know, move forward, and you have hope that that you can start something new, and that life isn't over for you, that you're not going to let this ruin you, but you're going to let it build you, and you're going to actually be a better person for it. So that's what I've got for you, Taurus. I really hope that this resonated or helped somebody, because this was a really tough reading for me, I'll be really honest with you. But, you know, this is also part of my growth, is, you know what I mean, like being supportive to all people, no matter where they are in their path and their journey. And like I said, shining light on the things that need light shone on them, even though it's difficult to hear sometimes. And, you know, and it's, like I said, even kind of like risky for me to be nice to certain types of people. And I know it sounds fucked up, and I hope you don't take that offense to that. But if you're looking at me and you're on my channel, then you already can vibe with why I'm saying that. Okay. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. Look, anyway, I wish you all the best. I really do. I always have, and I always will. Bless you. And I hope that this reading was helpful. Please do drop me a like, a comment, subscribe if you want. Just support me in my channel. It's a new channel. And yeah, also dream interpretations. If you're into that, you need that. My contact info is in the description box below, as well as my donation links. If you want to drop me a donation, it really means a lot. And I will see you again next time. All right. Bye.